All right, we are live on Facebook, and this is a day of incredible celebration. Is for the book launch of Ingrid. Well, her last name is Essawova. She just changed it. It shows on the bottom of the screen as Ingrid Katal. Ingrid, what a delight to share this day with you and to be able to
Thank
see
you.
this come to fruition. Something you've worked very, very hard for. This is a
Thank
day
you.
for celebration and to share the news of you bringing this amazing emotional dictionary to the soulful self to a, a worldwide audience. Tell us
Right.
about your journey and what inspired the book.
Well, I actually originally wrote the book about 15 years ago. It was called What is Your Honor Code? And it's really funny. Even back then, I was in Dubai actually, and I was woken up with the morning prayers as you hear the echoes throughout. It's quite chilling. And I was told by my energetic team, write the book, write a book, because I had a little baby at the time. And, well, a little baby, I think she was like about 5 or 6. And I wrote a book. I wrote a book. I read a book to her about sharing. And I really had a different pathway of thinking about things. And I was quite surprised at how well that particular book had done. So on the week later, when we went to Dubai, and I had this calling that said write a book, I'm like, you know what, when I read books I fall asleep. I mean, what do you mean write a book?
Write a
I mean,
book.
seriously. So I start writing a book, and it was more of a family book, and it had a little section in the back for the parents, because it's a two-way street here. It's the child and the maybe up to 13 years old, and the parent. And then I noticed that the parent section became really thick. And then I put that aside and I said, you know what? I need to do the book about self. And that's kind of how it started. So fast forward to 2020, or like actually it was 2019. I had about 6 or 7 chapters to add because, well, hopefully in 15 years, I learned a few thing or two. So I added that in, and gave it a facelift with a new name, the Emotional Dictionary to the Soulful Self. And uh, I was speaking earlier this morning, and there was a gentleman that asked me, with the how it was so different between writing it before and writing it now. And I was describing how it's like a large puzzle, and a few pieces were missing, but you're able to see the whole picture. And then this journey, I was able to put those pieces in and see the entire picture in its clarity. So it was an absolute joy. It didn't mean that I've learned everything I needed to learn, but I definitely am very blessed with tools that, even for a climate that we have today in 2020, that I'm able to thrive emotionally, mentally, physically, even though there's so many changes.
It is a massive time of change, and it's a massive time of really reassessing where we are and what we're doing and the impact we can have on our world. It's real to me. It's just vitally important. And this morning's conversation with our networking group was interesting to see the reactions, because several in the group have also worked with you in your practice. What um, what was your feeling that resulted from that? Because I know we had quite a nice conversation.
We really did. And I know that a number of people know, not know me, but know of me because of these groups. And they've seen me for a year, and I've been speaking live there. But kind of sort of noticed that today the group, not that they never listen. Of course they listen, but they really heard the message, because I believe, again, we're in a time of change, and these words, even though I may have been saying them over and over the past year, they probably were heard for the very first time, and it was something that was really needed. I believe. And it was, I know it was online, but it just seemed very intimate. And we were in the moment and we were there. It was very special this morning. So blessed.
It was, and I think part of that is as the coronavirus continues on and more and more people are affected, and it's not just a local level, it's a worldwide level.
Correct.
And I think that it's making a lot of us dig a little deeper, you
Mhm.
know, and but at the same time, I also feel like that there's um, a lot of people that really are having to dig deep and find out what do they really want for their lives right now. And I think it also opens up a lot of maybe issues that they've never had the time or taken the time to deal with.
Exactly. And they're faced with it. Truth is right in front of them and there's no filter. There's no filter to protect. It's almost like do or die type of thing, and in some cases it's almost literally that there's no more sugarcoating, there's no more filters. You can't get away with things anymore. It's you have to pick which side of the fence you're on, in terms of if you're going to be bitter and not forgiving and angry and frustrated and disappointed all the time, because you are just so incredibly hurt, or are you going to take the steps to apply self-care and understanding that it's not selfish, understanding that it's not a luxury, it's a necessity, and in a way you don't have a choice because um, you're faced in this particular climate. It has to do with your family, yourself, your career, and people don't understand that it's a lot more painful not to face the issue than it is to face it. They think that if they're going to face the wounds, the experiences, the memories, that it's going to be so painful and so hard. No, it's the other way. The fact that you don't do anything about it is what is so hard and painful.
Well,
And
but
then
it's,
after, usually my clients, after they finish, they're like, wow, that wasn't that bad. And it's like, no, it wasn't. That's what I'm trying to tell you all.
well, it's interesting because I've had a number of sessions with you too, and I've grown so much from that. But you have such a unique process of helping us to kind of really put things in perspective and really come to grips, and even through the whole forgiveness process, the whole every bit of that. And of course, forgiveness we do first and foremost for ourselves, because
Yep.
without that, um, maybe even the person that or the issue where there's a particular issue, maybe that person isn't even alive anymore. How can you do that? But on an energetic level, it transforms things, and it's almost like when you get done with a session, you just go ta-da, just kind of like brush
Ta-da!
it off,
Shall we do that again?
ta-da.
Ta-da! It really is a aha and a ta-da moment. And because forgiveness, we have to understand that it's an action and the feelings will follow. And forgiveness is just one of the things. But the key here, and what makes Simply True and the work that I do so different than any other work, is I believe we get to the core, which is we are plugged outside of ourselves for validation, happiness, etc. And plugging out there is not where it's at. It's plugging to yourself from within, which actually gives you that peace and that freedom. And when we're plugged into outside of ourselves, we have so much expectations, so much attachments to the outcome. And we have to realize that we cannot manage the outside of ourselves 100%, but we can manage ourselves pretty close to 100% when we are plugged into ourselves. And that's the beauty of this book, The Emotional Dictionary to the Soulful Self. It shows you, if you have if there's a situation, and there's different situations and chapters in the book, if you choose this pathway, this is how you're going to feel. This is what's going to happen. These are the actions you will take. This is how others will see you. And here are the short and long term effects. And again, I like to point out that the book is bullet pointed. So you have in depth answers in short sentences, or even in many cases just simply words. I get right down to the bottom line, because I believe things are about bottom line: who, where, what, when, how, why, which.
Right.
So back to again, and then if you want to pick another pathway, how am I going to feel? What's going to happen? How are going to see me? What are my short-term and long-term effects? And it's using logic and common sense, and it's all so simple, but it just seems that we tend to complicate things so much.
So share with the listeners and those that will listen later, because your book is amazing. I absolutely love the cover.
Yes.
It's a
Which is
workbook.
truly navigated from Miss Becky here, because she wanted the colorful butterfly, and it just kept ringing in my ear, doing this black and white thing. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think this cover is just profound.
I love it.
But the journey to being able to step into the shoes that you are now in,
Right.
To work with people, to help them to discover their soulful self. How did it begin for you? Where did it begin? And how did you step into that calling? Because I'm sure it's probably always been there, but did you always listen to it?
That's the thing. I think now that I'm in my soulful self and I'm in my true authentic self, funny thing is, I think I was like that as a small child. I can remember 2 years old, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I feel like I am now, with no knowledge or tools. And then as life, and I'm an only child, and I'm back then from Czechoslovakia in 1968, when the Russians came in, or my family had to flee, and just with the clothes on our backs, and of course having a family, speak no English. And it was very, very tricky. So they did the best that they could with the tools that they had, and that created certain situations. And growing up as an only child and having certain thoughts and wonders, and there was no Google at the time. It was a little bit tricky. Then, as as becoming a young adult, I realized that I wanted to be healthy. I didn't know why, and I didn't know how, but all I knew is my pathway had to be that I am healthy emotionally, mentally, physically, and I wasn't at the time. So naturally, I was always in the corporate world as a troubleshooter and a problem solver. So I just simply transformed those skills into my personal, and just chipped away on each situation, and realized that I had to perhaps sever from people, situations, things in life that I felt were not healthy. And it didn't matter about how I was going to be judged by others. All I knew is I knew what felt right or felt like me, and I knew what didn't. It's a type of just a feeling. It's just a feeling. And as I became healthier, I just did more and more. And I want you to know that these were radical changes that I took in my life that society usually does not do. Hence, now I'm my birthday month, I'll be 55, and honestly, I feel so content, so at peace. It's quiet now. Before, I'm at peace, and no matter what comes before me, whether today is my last day here or whether I get to live another 40 years, it's fine. Like nothing nothing has a hold on me. Absolutely nothing. And that way I feel that if I'm able to walk the walk and talk the talk, others will feel it. And the others that are ready to hear the message, the others that are tired of being tired, that they will feel that as well. And I can just transfer all that information to others and let them live their purpose as well, because we're, after all, here to heal and to serve and to live our purpose.
That is so beautiful. I so agree. And I'm so proud of you for bringing this book to the world. It's such a timely time. And for those that are listening, you can pick up the book. I put the link in the chat. You can pick up the book as a Kindle or as a paperback, and encourage you to do so and take the time to really soak in the truths that Ingrid is trying to share, because life is simply too short to not take care of ourselves and live the fullest, most amazing lives that we can live. And I'm honored to be able to have worked with you on bringing this to the world, bringing this amazing
it's
book.
only the beginning. It's volume 1. We have a volume 2 for next year. Absolutely. This is like a beginner's series. And then we get a little bit deeper. And I've already written my first chapter, and it's so fun. I love this level of depth. But regardless where you are in life, you are exactly where you're supposed to be. Excuse me. You're exactly where you're supposed to be, and it doesn't matter if you're beginners, advanced. It doesn't matter, as long as you're progressing, as long as you're healthy, as long as you're in the moment, and you're able to just love who you are and love others. And today is the last day with pre-sale. That usually the book is the paperback is $25. Today it's $19.95, and I actually have a link to my website that can be done. And of course, the ebook is $99.
Do you have that link? I can put it in here.
I do. I'm going to send that link right over to you ASAP.
Okay, well, let me get it into the post before we if you can just read it off to me, I can put it right in.
It's a long link. It's a long link. I will send that to you.
All right, very good.
I promise. Even if I have to, actually, I'll do it right now.
You have to get
do it right now. And while I'm getting that particular link, I just want everyone to know that, you think that we can do two things at once, right?
I'm looking, where'd you go?
I got it, actually. It's all good. She has it right now. I am putting that for Becky. Okay. So Becky, here is the link. And again, you guys, today is the last day that you are able to have this particular opportunity of having the book at this price. It is a large book. It's fun. It's a workbook. And it's wonderful because you can write in it. You have a note page at the end of every chapter, and you can highlight. And, don't be surprised if you're going to give your copy to someone else. It's happened before. It's really great.
So for those that are listening, by the purchase of the book today, you also really help Ingrid reach her #1 bestseller status. It's just part of what happens with a book launch, because there are so many that just have it on their hearts to be able to share and want to make sure just to be here and support. So we honor you. We bless you for the leadership that you take in our world, being that bright and shiny light. And Ingrid always keeps in touch with me and sends these gorgeous, beautiful, amazing butterflies, and that is so reflective on her book.
We got to stick to our branding, honey.
We got to stick to our brand. Very
beautiful.
Good.
Transformation.
So.
And also of paying it forward, I always offer 1 hour free sessions after a 5 or 10 minute phone chat So, this journey is very, very important. It's very personal. It's very intimate. And you have to make sure that when you speak with someone and you're going to divulge and share and just have mixed emotions, that this is the right fit, finding the person that really can help you thrive and go forward. So I do have my sessions for free. You can, see all that on simplytrue.com. How easy enough, simplytrue.com. And let's get connected online, by phone, in person in Phoenix. And let's just get going. And remember,
Awesome.
if it's not right now, it might be a little later. Time, have no attachment to timing. You're always where you're supposed to be. But in the meantime, just enjoy the book and just have fun.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Be
And
sure
you
to
got
pick
the
up a
link?
copy.
Everything good?
No, it didn't come in the mail, so I'll come back around to the
Text.
front side and
text.
put it in.
Wonderful,
Okay.
wonderful.
All right.
All
Very
right.
good. Oh, it came text. Oh, I was
Yes,
looking for the
text.
mail.
I can do
Okay.
that too. Don't we love technology, people?
Oh, it is a very long one.
Well,
I've got to.
Yeah, that's why I couldn't just, So she'll take care of it.
Okay. All right.
People
Take
for
care.
this. Bye-bye. Thank you for
Bye.
having me on. So blessed.
We'll
And
circle around this afternoon and see where we are.
Wonderful. And remember, everyone, stand in the power of you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Beautiful.